Shalom once again, give more praise to Yahweh, Shalom, Shalom, Kakadash, Shalom to the hopefully let out there. Anyway, this is from the video that was put up by Vocab. I think this was Saturday, this past Saturday, entitled AHRAYAH, Still Alive, Family Says. So this is, you'll see in a minute, an individual by the name of Ben Mack, and he claims to be the nephew of High Priest AHRAYAH. And I listened to it, and I didn't listen to the whole thing, but I kind of listened to more of it just now. He mentioned certain names. He mentioned the last name Sherrod, Peter Sherrod, and others with the name Sherrod. And he even mentioned his, I believe his younger brother or his cousin, which passed a couple years ago. He was on Sarnetta's show, Sarnetta's platform, and he claimed to be, High Priest AHRAYAH's a nephew, which I didn't have no problem with that. And he had died, I believe he died from, he was suffering from seizures, and he had died at a young age. And that was talked about. So here, this individual going by the name of Ben Mack, he had mentioned GMS. GMS started, this lie, and Vocab came to our rescue and said, no, I wouldn't call it a lie. We just got information. I got two initial at the same time. Saturday, that past Saturday, I got two comments by people I didn't know. The first one, I said, who's this guy? And then the second one, I said, oh, this sounds serious. The first video that I put up, I will go and review that video again. And I believe I said in that video, I just wanted to put some more confirmation. I heard that the High Priest AHRAYAH, which we highly respect, is in the spiritual realm. I said something to the effect of, please give us confirmation, and a lot more people said it. So I said, sounds like it's confirmed that he's passed on. Hey, we said the other videos that we put up were pretty much old speaking videos, in memory of him, but comes to find out, he's still alive. Who said that statement? The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Well, that applies to this. So I'm happy that AHRAYAH is still alive, and I'm gonna go by Ben Mack. And I would like to say I'm sorry. We have the highest respect for High Priest AHRAYAH. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and it's truth, if I didn't come up under the tutelage of High Priest AHRAYAH. So we have absolutely no disrespect or bad feelings about High Priest AHRAYAH. So for you, Ben Mack, we're sorry that it came out that way. We actually thought he had passed. We didn't in any way intend to disrespect him in any way. We highly respect that man. And you can see IUIC did a video respecting AHRAYAH, which was a good thing. Bishop Nate called him my elder. And so did General Yohana. He did some, he said he's gonna wear the garment at the Passover, but it comes out that he's still alive, so that's a good thing. I also heard that High Priest Shaw, has a heart condition, so pray for him. Anyway, let me just let you listen. I don't know why Creepy Miguel has anything to do with this. We get a lot of information from our main man, Vocab Malone here. And I'll say again, Vocab Malone did, go to bat for us. He did say, Tahar and GMS wouldn't say anything negative about High Priest AHRAYAH. And that's a fact.
yell and XICGJ person study and research this issue. I don't even know what and you're on and you're saying you have different information. Talk to me.
Yeah, sure. Hey, San Miguel, he used to be a bishop inside of the church that I was in. Can you guys hear me?
San Miguel was never a bishop.
Well, some type of person inside of, and not, this is not ICIU, this is the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ.
You mean IUIC, not ICU?
Not IUIC, the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. I know, but San Miguel used to be some type of a bishop or something.
Yeah, but Ben, you just said he's not dead. I spoke to the IUIC.
Yeah, no, he's not dead. I spoke to a deacon recently on the phone. He continued in the morning. My uncle's name is Leonardo Sherrod. His brother's name is Samuel Sherrod. I'm the son from AHRAYAH. No, what I'm saying is that there was some information that was put out on Saturday of last week stating that he was dead. And I called him on Monday, and his wife Doris, and he's speaking in the background saying that it's a lie. When I had that conversation with him, he said, I am alive and I'm not dead. I started calling around, looking at some videos, so many videos online, stating that he had passed away. He's not dead. I believe it stemmed originally from a group called GMS with some guy named Tom.
No.
They were just putting out information.
What's a Shire Allah, or how you say things first?
I don't know what his name is. I care less.
I was one of the first, maybe the second, but I got two comments, and now you can see vocab is, standing up, saying good things about us. Nah, Tahar wouldn't do that. Tahar wouldn't do that. Not so many words. So I say again, sorry, ask for your forgiveness. So let's listen to some more.
So you do know his wife's name.
I'll tell you what, even better, right? You guys had some rapper named Saint Ivan on your show. His name is Lewis. He used to be the speaker for another false prophet, right? You call him, tell him to reach out to me, right? And I guarantee you, all of this will be squashed. I don't know why so many people are going out there and spreading so many lies. These guys that's on this channel that you guys are watching, ISPUPK, right? They have the name of the old school. Those guys are lying. They don't know what they're talking about. They're lying. Nate is about to, clean this whole thing up. I just got off the phone with one of his deacons. He'll be calling him in the morning. He confirmed after I met him in person outside of 1PP that, hey, this guy is for real. We put out some information. There's so many videos, so many groups of so many people online just spreading lies. It doesn't make any sense. It's weird to say that all this dirt is coming out about.
Let's talk. So people may not be lying; they may be mistaken. I'm saying
that's right. We were not lying. We were mistaken. We heard it from a certain handful of people. And, you know how news travels. But like I said, I'll say again, we are happy that High Priest AHRAYAH is still alive.
Yeah, telephone effect. If I tell you some information and it gets passed along, by the time it reaches the fifth person, is alive.
I don't think it's not people lying.
They're making mistakes, yeah, but it's based off of the intent of a lie. Yeah, it's purpose, deception, and you have some through ignorance. But at the end of the day, I mean, it came from a lie, correct? So yeah, it was a lie.
I don't know.
If you sit down and you say something out of your mouth and you say, hey, this person passed away.
Yes, vocab is saying the right thing. He's speaking the right thing. Right about now, vocab is an Israelite. He's a J. right now. But tomorrow he's going to be an Edomite again.
It's not true. What do you call that? Yes, the origins of what came out was a lie.
We don't know who came out. Even GMS was told us. And so was everyone who.
No, I'm pretty sure GMS was the one that actually put out that information. They are the source.
I had already seen information. Prior to GMS. I actually heard about it before GMS.
You read about. So what day was that? Because that's what I got.
It was Saturday.
It was Saturday.
See, this is why vocab doesn't want to go back and forth. He's trying to explain that he heard something. You know, you have a brother that's in this situation in Mexico. Four individuals went to Mexico from the States, and come to find out, two of them are dead, the other two are injured. So they didn't know what was going on. So now, what if it comes out that the two of them were not dead, that they're still alive? Does it make the news a lie? Can you say, well, I'm suing the media, CNN or whatever, for telling that lie? No, it's not a lie. It's just you're getting information from somebody else. So I didn't say, oh wow, let me tell this lie. I never liked AHRAYAH anyway. No, I never said that. Why would I lie? Why would I lie about a man that I highly respect?
Right.
I got it right
It's
away.
great because as these guys are woke, that's the only group that I've seen that.
I'm going to talk to you about what, but let me can I interact with you? So I got the information from Canada. They gave me the information. They're pretty truthful. And then I saw it in multiple other places as well. So I'm saying it's not like random people. I hear you. Now you do know his wife's name, so that's something in your favor. You said you knew some of his other family members. You said. Who did you say?
One of his family members. He had a brother that passed away last year. His name was Paul. David Marshall Paul. His other brother's name is Sam Sherrod. He has a sister, also Prince IUIC, the Israel United in Christ. I'm not saying her name. His name is Leonardo Sherrod. His mother's name. This is Leo. This is AHRAYAH. His mother's name is Elizabeth Brown. I know this whole family. I am his family.
Okay, so I don't know all the names you said, but I do know factor from what I understand.
So Elizabeth Brown was my grandmother. She was married to a man named Willie Marshall Parr. Before that, she was with the man from the camp because that was Peter Sherrod.
Yeah, that's Elder High Priest Yaquat. And I actually seen a picture of your grandmother. She was a Gadite, I believe.
Okay, so that is also his father's name. That's true as well. So that's accurate. But if this is true, is there someone from ICGJC?
That defunct organization doesn't really exist. I mean, I'll tell you what, you have a guy named Sam Miguel there. I don't know if he has a few numbers, but as deep as he can pull, which I don't think that he wants to go down that, that route again. Those guys are crazy with Tazadaki and them.
ICGJC is still in operations because we have brothers that live in Harlem and they pass the school from here and there. They live in that area, the area of Harlem, and they would have said something. They would have said, because this brother right here said that the school is boarded up. The school is not boarded up. The school is still in operation.
Have him reach out to somebody that knows Leo's best friend, which is Shaw. And I guarantee you that guy who has heart problems could tell you he's still alive.
Shaw's really hard to get a look. Like, I hear what you're saying. All the people you're saying, we have extreme different.
Shaw, by the way, is one of the seven, which I knew very well.
Knowing anything about because the ICGC was so secluded now. So I would love to talk to Shaw.
I mean, they're not a group anymore. They're there, but they're not a group.
Well, then hold on. They are falling apart. They still
they fell apart. They're not falling. They fell.
The school is still there. The main school, 1941 Madison, is still there. The doors are open. Okay. Like I said, we had several brothers in our camp, GMS, New York, that live in that area. So they would have said something.
And then I just talked to somebody who just left them and is still talking. I know the ICGC, they still exist. I know for a fact they exist.
Yeah, they exist. I'm just saying that they're not in a real group anymore. Let's do that. Let me get them to go.
Since when? Since when have they disbanded?
Well, it wasn't officially disbanded. I heard during COVID they closed their doors and that they didn't open up because of the subsequent death of Jermaine Grant.
heard, hey, real quick, I have heard that Madison is.
Yeah, right.
Have you heard?
It's not vocab. It's not boarded up. It's in operations. I mean, the school is still operating as to this day, as to yesterday, the day before, 2 days ago.
Heard that?
Yeah, they boarded up.
Well, I heard Madison is boarded, or I don't know.
I don't know. I care less about that group. I mean,
Like clothes. Last I knew Madison is, and that's the main school. That's where I went.
I went there as well too. The headquarters.
Okay, so if what you're saying is true, can you help us be able to discover? Is there anyone who's available, willing to talk to us about it? We'll give some people. Then you're saying.
Well, I'm gonna be
saying Sharp. Any of those.
Well, hopefully, what I'm doing now is I'm gonna try to get Leo to get into a three-way conversation with one of the groups that put out a video on him, and that was the IUIC. I guess they're the friendly of this whole entire mad movement, right? Yeah, they're approaching. We're gonna speak to the deacon that called.
Hey, you see, they're approachable. Only not to vocabulary. You know, that's why he did the little eye, the head swing with the eyes. So, oh yeah, they're approachable.
Me last night. I forgot his name.
Was
I don't know. I really don't know.
Was it Ithon? Was it Deacon Ithon?
I think it was Ithon. I think that was his name. He's an older guy. He said he was talking to me on phone. He apologized. He said he just meant to or something. I for the life of me, I don't know. But I'll just call the number.
Why would they talk to? I'm not trying to be. Why would they? Do they know you?
So I left him a message. I think it was yesterday. Do so much work in technology, and I left a message on the church number because I wanted to reach out to him after my sister. My sister gave me a message stating that he had passed away, and I said, "Where did you get this information?" I called him Monday morning. He's still alive. They reached out to me because they confirmed that my number matched a number that Nate had when we met in person. And Nate said, "I remember that number from all those years ago. Let us use this guy and call him and figure this out." So this is the reason why they reached out to me, that they found some form of communication, sufficient material evidence to show that I am related to this man. When they reached out to me, it was just all apologies. This is the reason why they reached out to me. I don't know what they're going to do now. They still have their video. I can't, justify why everyone else is also saying the things that they're saying. When I called AHRAYAH, I'll tell you what he stated. He stated that it's all lies. They're spreading lies on my name. And he was saying this in the background while his wife was talking on speakerphone. When I heard his voice, I was like, something has to give. He wanted me not to call anybody or any of you guys. Like, people that I know personally are sending me voicemails, they're sending me emails, they're sending me video saying that he died, and it's just becoming like a media frenzy in this small little community.
Well, yeah, I mean that is true. I mean, you have lots of people who are in charge of these different groups. I mean, now listen. That's what you're saying. Part of it is the reason why I waited a week to do this video. My thought was, okay, it was recorded on Saturday. Me and Miguel been talking about it, but I wanted to wait to see what reactions were, to see if there's some kind of confirmation. And when I saw different heads of these camps and people who used to be in the group all confirming it, I said, okay, it seems confirmed at this point. We don't have an obituary. We don't have anything like that. We don't have a memorial flyer. We don't have that kind of stuff. Family members, unless you are. But that's why I waited until now. I've waited literally a whole week since Saturday. So we waited. We tried to confirm it as best as we could. You do know some things that would be difficult for you to know unless you have tried to investigate a strange guy. But you got to understand, we don't know what to make of what we're saying. You know what I mean?
I did try reaching out to other groups. no avail. You can only reach out to them on like radio shows. IUIC, I'm surprised they called me because their operation doesn't run from full from Friday sundown to Saturday Sunday. I literally got that phone call last night. Today is now Saturday. Um, didn't get a message. I left messages for about a week.
The news came out not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. He's talking about the Saturday after the Saturday that uh, this whole thing about High Priest AHRAYAH. So that we're talking what, the fifth? This right here was 2 days ago. So we're talking 2 days ago, 3 days ago. We're talking the fifth, sixth. Whenever today is Wednesday. We're talking with the fifth.
You know, it's just hard to get a hold of these guys. I'm surprised that you guys are able to get a hold of them when you can. Like you stated earlier, you said you have these guys you know. No, they're hard.
So we were talking to a lot of people.
Okay, so this they're talking about the 4th of March.
Not be friendly with us because remember he left, and I'm a Christian apologist, so a lot of them really don't like me. You know what I mean? But I have an interest in history and truth and facts, so I don't think if the man's still alive.
Yeah, I want to.
He is 82 years old, so it's not like when it's reported.
And this goes out to Vocab. If you had met AHRAYAH years ago, you would have liked him. Because he's a very personable individual. And there's many times where Edomites came up and asked serious questions that he got down and talked to them. He didn't say, go down the street, you damn devil. If there was an actual Edomite that had a serious question or wanted to have a serious dialogue on the street, AHRAYAH would engage with that, what appeared to be an Edomite. So, he wasn't just some wild, although he did get wild at certain times. He had a hell of a temper, But other than that, he was a statesman. Matter of fact, I don't know if it was a college or high school. This was back in the early '80s. It was one, I forget the school. It could have been a college. And these Edomites actually wanted him to be a history teacher in this particular school. I forget all the details. And he turned it down, because he would have to teach Edomites. Now, Yeshaya, High Priest Yeshaya, was an actual teacher in the New York school system. He was an actual teacher. He taught the, curriculum, American curriculum, whatever you want to call it.
83 years old as of August 22nd.
Oh, 83? So he's also,
I mean, I feel like he's senile at this point. First.
Oh, you believe he's senile?
I think he is. I mean, he used to do things in the past.
He what?
Hopefully it didn't build up.
What didn't build up? I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, so he used to do things back in the day. Hopefully those things didn't build up to bite him on the ass.
Oh, you mean like drugs?
No. Yeah, not drugs. He used to drink now and then.
Well, that was the thing. He did used to drink a lot. He didn't have the best diet in the world. But when I met him back in 2016, I ran into him 3 times in the same place, mind you. And it would always be, the spirit would say, go to this place. You got to pick up a few things. No, I'll do it tomorrow. No, go to this place. It was always like the spirit that kind of set me up, and I would run right into him. And he wasn't senile. If he's senile now, he wasn't senile back then. He was a lot older. He looked a lot different. He looked closer to his father's age when I met his father. And so he was a lot older, obviously.
Oh, okay. You're saying, well, when you're that age, I mean, you don't have to have been an alcoholic alcoholic to be senile when they're 3, 4. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got things like dementia. There's a lot of things that.
My grandpa Giuseppe Polino, he lives still in the Buffalo area. When I call him, he doesn't know.
Giuseppe Polino, he will make it in the kingdom of heaven, and he will be the slave master over Vocab Malone, his grandson. So your grandfather Zeppi, Zeppi's gonna make it. So you better hope you better hope you're related to this guy that fought Joe Louis, Max Mellon, because we believe Max Mellon is a Jake. Just throwing that in there. Just throwing that in there.
I am the one talking to him. I'm gonna go try to visit him for his birthday.
That sounds like Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but he's about the same age. He's about the same age as AHRAYAH. So I'm just saying. But I mean, you're saying some interesting things. Okay, do you know the nephew who was interviewed one time? He's like,
yeah, that's my cousin Jedediah Sharon. Yeah,
so
passed
you know
away.
who I'm talking about? Wait, he's dead?
Yeah, he passed away. So actually, I believe 3 years ago, he had passed away. He was about 26.
He was a younger guy.
He was a part of the Nubian group. Yeah, that's my cousin.
Yeah, I remember that he had a problem with seizures, and he was taking a shower and he had a seizure and he never woke back up. So we remember that well.
So you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he used to carry, like, he was a young guy, but he had like a little rat tail, a little closer down his head, little braids. But he was a Nubian. He's passed away. He's deceased. He left 3 kids in life. Or at least I think 3 kids in life. Yeah,
What else do you feel? Nothing that's you don't feel comfortable. What else do you feel comfortable? It's relevant to history and information discussion that I could understand about AHRAYAH, things related to family that relate to the theological discussion, because we're trying to figure this out.
Now, as it relates to, you say theological, what you want me to say is something that maybe he teaches, because it's obvious what he teaches.
No,
am I in agreement with it? No.
Well, I'm sorry, I guess I'm explaining. Just anything else you feel comfortable sharing that might be of interest or that's relevant,
Nothing that you guys probably haven't covered. As years have gone by, you have individuals that have debunked his teachings, and they looked at a lot of the things that he had to say, and you guys just recently, before I even got into the show, someone sent me this link. They were like, they talk shit. I was like, who's the guy? And I don't know who these guys are, right? And I see the video. I was like, oh, I see that guy. That's that vocab Malone guy. I've seen him before. He was in front of, he's fucking with these guys. So excuse my language. Can I use profanity?
Oh, you saw when I showed up at Madison.
I seen a video when you showed up in Madison, but I more so looked at it was half-assed because I was doing something like it was like I think it was like Saturday or Friday or something like that, where you had 2 individuals, the guy Lewis, Rosario, who I think his name's Zaka McLean or some shit, right? And some other guy that was up there too. Sure, thanks to his show. When he was there, so you had a former apostle or some shit, right? In addition, and I recognized their faces, and since they have left that group, it's quickly gone. AHRAYAH has always been, how you say, a man who just put out a lot of information I didn't agree with. When I looked at the 12 tribes chart, which years ago he used to call a 12 tribes chart map because it was a map to your identity, that shit, right? I looked at it, it was pretty, it was supposed to be a map to an identity. That's what it was, and that's what he was pushing. When you look at it, there were so many flaws, right? It looked like a 12-year-old wrote it. If you look at it, most of it deals with sociological identifications, right? They try to pair it with historical, biblical social identifications. The 3 of them are half-assed. If you look at them, there are 3 that's on that little chart that he has there that refer to geographical locations, which are against his teachings.
Yeah, they're not all ethnic designations.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just no. It's not. It's ethnic designation. It's Guatemala to some extent, right? When you look at it, you're like, okay, so are we accepting people that are inhabiting that land, or we're accepting the people who are, are just there?
Are you saying, family reunions and barbecues with AHRAYAH?
AHRAYAH was a man that lived his family reunions and barbecues. He was in his teachings. He was around his family members for some time. There are some stories out there that people have of him, how he studied for years. He was in a wheelchair. I know the behind story for that. I know the story behind the individuals who robbed the church.
Are you talking about later on?
Yeah, this is years ago. This is pre Jermaine Grant, before he robbed the organization. This was back in like the 90s.
Who robbed the church in the 90s?
People robbed the church in the 90s. Or excuse me, school at that time. They called it a school, right? And when the 2000s came along, you had this guy named Jermaine Grant that was just milking money.
I know him.
Yeah, there was a man that robbed the organization. There was a man that did rob the organization, and there was a man that actually did. And you'll be surprised at how things played out in the stories that people tell. Looking at this story that they have of AHRAYAH in his life now, they show that he's dead, or state that he's dead when he's not. It makes me look at the world the same way that I've been looking at it, that people are unreliable and they can't be trusted, especially when they're in a group that brainwashes them, right? There are some small little nickering stories that are out there that are just not accurate. How the church or school was robbed during that time, how certain individuals rose to power. You hear stories like Jermaine Grant, how he rose to power through being a part of a video department. He was in the faces and up the asses of all the teachers. I truly believe, and I don't want to push anything. He had something with certain people, and that's what allowed for him to get what he got.
Well, that is certainly a we've heard that supposedly AHRAYAH being a gambler.
Dying again. His brother's a gambler. The one that passed away, my father, David Cross, that he was a gambler with no money, right? But AHRAYAH has money. I wouldn't say he was a crazy gambler. It's not like he was in the field on the block playing dominoes. Have you, in your time in that organization, ever seen AHRAYAH outside of the church?
Well, no, I wasn't in the organization. I'm outside.
And outside.
Yeah, he was a gambler. He went up to Atlantic City a lot. He played the numbers, but he was very super generous, super generous, man. Bunch of guys would be about 20 of us, and well, let's go to the movies or let's go over here, and he'll take he'll pick up the tab, and he would fight you if you said no, I'm gonna help. No, your money's no good here. He was a straight up guy, individual, stand up guy.
Have you ever seen him outside?
Well, no, but I don't live.
Oh, okay. I thought you were. You said you were at Madison.
Yeah, I did go to Harlem.
For a different reason. It was for that reason, right? The reason of, hey, I'm going to confront these guys. I thought you actually attended.
No, not me. I'm someone who ran into Hebrew. So some Christian saw that it was problematic to move people. But I care about the truth, and I still respect and love these men. I find a lot of teaching and behavior that produces very important, but it's not a matter of hatred or anything like that. In the search.
Oh, it's not about mockery, huh? It's not about mockery. What about Yahweh? What is it? Something spy for Yahweh? Oh, just call him coon. Just call him a coon. Come on, man. Slavery in the USA.
Ultimately, to show not want to be in. So the gambling thing's not a thing. Maybe it was more his pops. Maybe that was more of that was.
I'll tell you one thing. There was a lot of drinking of liquor going on during that time. Individuals were drinking. There were incidences where I'm not going to give no names, but there's some teachers who show up to the podium drunk, and some people were getting sick of it. And as a result, people started to split because people
there was a lot of drinking. Christian brothers. And Yeshai showed up drunk a couple of times. Maybe others, but I believe Yeshai. But you know what? You drink, you get a little spirits in you, he wasn't out of control though.
Who started to get too self-glorified. People were someone was always someone back there. They always referred to themselves as some patriarch of the Bible or some biblical figure.
Yeah. AHRAYAH.
Somebody's Paul. Right.
And it said that AHRAYAH would give reincarnation.
Yeah, he himself was
John the
someone.
The Apostle John.
Right. They were always, and I'm a guy who's a skeptic. I grew up classically under him, right? And there's a lot of things from a biblical perspective that I'm skeptical about. So, as a student, I would ask questions.
He's your uncle.
There's a lot of people that could call this man big brother or father. I am not as different from them, so I may have seen some things said at a dinner table, as opposed to being a parishioner to an organization, right? If I'm a parishioner, I'm just going to be told what if I'm a person that's a part of the family, I'll know the inner workings of what's being done, what's being said. You'll see things play out, and while the parishioners are seeing it a certain way, you being behind the scenes see it different or contrary to that certain way. So I've seen some things. Don't get me wrong. It's just that him doing that, it kind of exposed. By him doing that, I mean he has done some things in the background, but it kind of exposed where some of these guys were at, like the whole 2K conspiracy, right? That 2K conspiracy was that Jesus Christ is going to come back in the year 2000 and kill all the black people, white people, right? And everybody was going to go up into the sky. It would be like a rapture. The Lord was coming, right? And that didn't happen. But some people carried that teaching after the year 2000. And he's seen how people, that was him that did that. He was that guy. He was the top scribe. So there was a lot of information with that information was being put out. There are, he's seen the work. He knew what was going on. Did he say anything about it? No. I'm pretty sure some people came up to him and asked him some questions from a tutorial standpoint that would be very controversial and would cause some individuals to lose their faith. Like, for example, one thing that was always said in Israelite camps was that every book is inspired by God. There was a time where a guy like myself came along and asked the question, well, if every book is inspired by God, then there should be mention of God in that book. We asked the question about Esther and who was she married to? And if she was married to some ruler in Persia, who was that? And how come we can't find information about him? It was just questions that tripped up some of the individuals that were inside the school. They have old videos of VHSs or there are conversations with individuals who are heavy critics of all the apostles, right? And they try to use him to justify Paul the apostle, use him to justify their movement in Black Hebrewism, right? Like there are occurrences and variances that they use Greek, the word Greek or Gentile, where in many occurrences Greek means Gentile, or Gentile literally means Greek. And there was a level of acceptance of Greek within to the whole of the ancient Hebrew Israelites during the time of Jesus, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he threw it under the bus. He did that because it would mess up his movement. To have
those Greeks and those Gentiles, as I said before, and I'm going to continue to say it, when you come across the word Greek or Greeks or Grecians, Greeks or Grecians, or even Gentiles, they were Israelites. They were Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites at the time and came into the fold. A key individual is Cornelius. Cornelius was an Israelite, which back then they were teaching Cornelius was an Edomite that was holding the book. Cornelius, we found out through research in the spirit that Cornelius was in fact an Israelite. And for the record, before the split, I told the story before. High Priest AHRAYAH had Shaw. If any new revelation would come to him, he would come to me. He would come to General Yohanan. He would come to Barak, Elder Barak, or the Shai or the seven. We were kind of an extension of the seven. So he was the one that first said, call to Har and tell him, ask him about, what he thinks about Cornelius being an Israelite. And when Shaw called me, I hung the phone up. I said, what? And I guess he got back and said, well, Tahar ain't feeling it. And it kind of got pushed under the rug. And then when the split came, it came back up again through Apostle Gabar. He was speaking out, thinking out loud. And that had the whole series of councils. And they kicked us out based on the fact that we said that Cornelius was an Israelite, which I never really said, but it was asked of me, and I said yes. And I said, okay, we won't teach it no more. Big deal. Nah, is it in your mind? Of course it's in my mind. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother topic right there. But eventually it came out that Cornelius was in fact the Israelite, and that the wild olive branches were also Israelites, which the main school didn't teach. So the Most High didn't give all the revelation to one man. We got a lot from them, but the Most High added to this thing.
The white guy that he's preaching against, using the victim mentality, it would have messed his organization up. Here you have these black liberated young men in their 20s and 30s, and they found a group that they could be accepted in. If he was to teach that actually is wrong, they would leave.
Do you know anything about
the year 2000 prophecy? It started getting a pushback in 1995. It was around, not in 1989. They started talking about that in the early 80s. The early 80s is when they were speaking about this, because they got that information from other people who were 2K conspirators, right? For some weird reason, I believe it's 1983. Don't take that literally. I don't want you to take that literally. That the earliest I've heard of the Israelites, the Black Hebrew Israelites, pushing information of the brothers from the school was 1983. They started preaching that in the year 2000, Jesus Christ was going to come and slave about that. And it didn't get a push until they were speaking about it for years, but it didn't get a major push until like 1984 to 85 when AHRAYAH started to put a heavy emphasis on just that specific teaching alone. And I'm pretty sure you guys probably find something in there. I guess if you could call it an archive, right? I call it shenanigans. If you could look deep into it, you'll find some of his students teaching it. You'll see people on the podium teaching it. You'll see maybe even AHRAYAH himself teaching it. Again, nothing really got taught about him teaching it.
Yeah, the problem
We also have Harvey Havertz, that's called too, who's a teacher of that. Harvey Havertz being Moshe bin Karim, also known as Masha. His real name is Harvey Havertz, and he's a part of my family too.
just to the audience, I'm just thinking.
Said Marshall, he heard him. He said Marshall is a part of my family too. They are related. They are related. Like David and Joab and David were related. AHRAYAH, Marshall and AHRAYAH were related. I'm not going to go full into the details. So they're part of the same family.
His real name is Harvey Havertz. You can look up his old picture.
No, I'm firing what you're saying.
That's true. Yeah, originally from Detroit.
So he does also know. So the information he's given, that I can't confirm all of it, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, but there's information I can confirm and I can't confirm. So that's not.
How did you find out? Sorry about that. That wasn't like they have mask names. Like, some people ask what AHRAYAH's real name was, they would say Ari B. You know, but as well.
No, it's
Leonardo. That's how you pronounce it. Leonardo. Not Leonardo. It's Leonardo.
Give me a sec. Please forgive me.
It's the way he pronounces it. It's not Leonardo.
But it doesn't have an R in it.
It doesn't, but that's how he pronounces it. And that's how most of his family members pronounce it. They never used his name like that. If you ask any of his siblings, it's either Leo or Ari. We don't even call him AHRAYAH. We just say Ari. Oh, yeah, Ari is over there teaching. Yeah.
Yep, I used to call him Ari. Yep, his nickname was Ari. Ari. And Masha, King Masha, we used to call him Mo.
On 125th, he's up there teaching where there's a place where Applebee's used to be, and they used to teach at, which was it was One West.
One
where
West,
they called it.
125th Street.
Yeah, it's a flight of long ass steps. So I have some family members that used to fall down these steps.
Well, there's also stories about people being thrown down those steps.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. There was a lot of stuff going on in that building. The insurance policy fraud. You want to talk about that? I get some people in trouble. I get them in trouble.
Well, there is a rumor related to Al Sharpton about what we're saying, right?
Al Sharpton made this rumor, or
No. Didn't they share an office temporary?
that office that they shared was on Madison? Wasn't it that One West Park? In fact, the lower level. Who was that guy that died back in the early 2000s that died? His name is Abanu. Remember him? Abanu? There was a guy who was killed by police officers. When they were doing video footage, they were there at that same building back in
Amadou Diallo he's talking about.
1999. They were there in that same building.
We're talking
The
about
building
One
that's
West,
there over there in Madison. Yeah, the building over there on 125th in Madison.
Yeah, they showed the same building, 1941 Madison, with the National Action Network. But you had Al Sharpton there. That was the headquarters, and they moved in many years later after Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton closed that down, and he's up on 145th Street in Harlem.
That's the building that Al Sharpton was at.
Yeah,
The one that was on One West.
Because there was a fire in Madison, I heard too.
There was, but not like the one that was over there on One West. The one over there on One West is where money was made. There was also an insurance fraud. There was also allegedly some situations, right, that was going on over there on Madison where there were some things that happened and there was some money collected.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like you might be talking about. There's a rumor that in the old school, not at 125th, but at another building right next to it, they kicked out some drug dealers who were that was like their spot, and they ended up people associated with the school ended up instead selling the drugs out of that building, making money. They became the drug dealers. There's a rumor about that.
That's not true. That's not true. That was around the corner, 126th Street. That's not true. They didn't sell drugs out of the thing unless they were that secretive. But no, that's not true.
I could get into that heavily, and I know some inner details in that. I know exactly what people know. Some of them took up other jobs. I want to talk about some family members. There's a person in my family that was doing that. He was not too many people know him, but he was Mr. Dirty Bird. He showed up to a few people's homes. So there was a guy back in the 90s that supposedly had robbed the church. Some people believe that the person that did do it was the one that was driving the car. His name was, I don't want to put his name out there, but he drew a fancy car. And they thought that he was a guy who was stealing money from the organization, but it wasn't. He had made money other than. I'm not going to talk about it.
I mean, that's the rumor. I didn't say it to go. You hear this?
I hear it. So people thought that he was the one that robbed the organization. It wasn't him. No. They found out who it was, and they sent someone over. Miguel there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, Miguel, that wasn't true. Shia was not that guy. He left because of teachings. It had nothing to do with money.
Oh,
Why would he leave out of a money? Why would anyone logically leave from a money vehicle that's making them money to go?
Yeah, Shia and Gazak briefly, they immediately left at one point I remember when it happened, we were speaking up the street from the main school. Yeah, and the Shire, like I said, they would have said, yeah, Shire did it. Like I said, the Shire didn't do that. Shire, that don't sound like the Shire. He would just rob the school. That don't sound like him.
Go into a situation, whereas they're making a lot less.
There's story.
Yeah, no, you're right. The story, kind of before you continue, individuals that leave, and Miguel could attest to this, when people leave, immediately it becomes, we kicked him out. And that's never true. Many of these guys leave on their own volition. Am I correct, Miguel?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've heard that too. You say earlier that Harvey is Harvey?
So Harvey Harris, Marshall, I guess we can say that. He wasn't the guy that was related to Marshall, but he's the guy that lives in the family. Marshall's son was once with one of my aunts, one of our sisters, named Bashan. And from his younger sister, he had 3 kids. So that's what draws him into his family. It's just, family members marrying other people's families. But he's considered to be family. I have 3 cousins right now who their grandfather's Harvey Harris. And Harvey Harris has a son. His son was once with my aunt. He is a part of the family. He's not.
I know his aunt. I know Marshall's son, and I know he said 3 children. I remember 2, the 2 boys. Maybe the other one was a girl, and those were the favorite sons of Marshall, because we would go out. Marshall and his grandsons would come with him. So I remember them. I can give you the names, but I'm not.
My blood relative. Even Peter Sherrod is not my blood relative. I'm related to AHRAYAH by his mother, Elizabeth, or pronounced Elizabeth Brown. My grandfather's name is Willie Marshall Carl.
Willie Marshall Carl?
Carl, as in C-A-R-R. His younger sister has the last name C-A-R-R as well, too. There's a common occurrence in our family. The Sherrods, the Browns, and the Carls. All, mastered and slave mastered.
You know, there's also that Ari and Peter Sherrod redeemed.
That I don't know. That's before my time.
Oh, absolutely. Bell's Glade, Florida. He used to always talk about that. That's a fact. That is a fact. He said he used to talk about that all the time. So yes, he was from Florida.
We're talking about a guy who, if he was alive, there was probably like, I wouldn't know. But I would tell you that he did have some individuals that did see. So there were 2 major schools at this. I don't know if you know this. In New York, you had a group called the Commanding Keepers. And you had Peter Sherrod. Right? You had Peter Sherrod. Peter Sherrod came out of that group.
Yeah, with Edward Meredith Bivens.
Right, and this goes back as far as like 18. It's not the early. Some people say the early. You can even go down to North Carolina and find churches.
Anyway, I'm gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna say Shalom.